Hi, this is Aaron of aaronjmarks.com. I'm a visionary purpose coach and metaphysical leadership mentor. And I was at a networking group this morning, and a fixture of that kind of thing is often going around the room with all the other business people there, giving a brief presentation about what you do. Sometimes I like to do things that are a little unconventional. And today I shared a few verses of a poet that I've been enjoying lately. He's known as Hafez, and he has this big, long Persian name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. But if you're curious to learn more about him, go to Wikipedia, type in Hafez, Hafez. I also see it as Hafiz. But anyway, he's one of the well. Let me. I pulled out the first paragraph of the Wikipedia article, so let me just read that. Known by his pen name Hafez, which means the memorizer or the safekeeper, and he lived from 1325 to 1390. He was a Persian lyric poet whose collected works are regarded by many Iranians as a pinnacle of Persian literature. His works are often found in the homes of people in the Persian-speaking world who learn his poems by heart and use them as everyday proverbs and sayings. His life and poems have become the subjects of much analysis, commentary, and interpretation, influencing post 14th century Persian writing more than any other Persian author. And I've even read that uh, the German poet Goethe was influenced by Hafez, and I think you'll see why. So he was a mystic, and he was called the memorizer because he prodigiously memorized the Quran early in his life, and was one of these people who sort of like assimilated the Islamic tradition, and then a lot like Rumi, from what I understand, kind of sprang past it and just this sort of pure mystical understanding, or non-dualistic is what some people call it, where it's like you use the religion as a springboard to mysticism, and then from that vantage point you see how the terms kind of fall away and they're all sort of pointing at an ultimate reality. So some of the verses just have this real mystical and peaceful beauty about them, and they get at things that we feel, and that we endure, and we're not quite sure how to make sense of, because they simultaneously have this pain but this beauty about them. That's one of the major things that I think about. So I wanted to share some verses of him. I shared a few in that networking group this morning, and afterward someone came up to me and shared with me how beautiful they found it, and so I thought, well, this would make a good daily post for my audience. So here's some verses from Hafez. And still, after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. We have come into this exquisite world to experience ever and ever more deeply our divine courage, freedom, and light. One regret, dear world, that I am determined not to have when I am lying on my deathbed is that I did not kiss you enough. Remember, for just 1 minute of the day, it would be best to try looking upon yourself more as God does, for she knows your true royal nature. And a quick comment on that one, it does use the pronoun she. We don't need sugar, flour, or rice, or anything else. We just want to see our dear ones. Time is a factory where everyone slaves away, earning enough love to break their own chains. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions. Ever since happiness heard your name, it has been running through the streets trying to find you. Love sometimes wants to do us a great favor, to hold us upside down and shake all the nonsense out. All right, this next one is interesting, and I don't know that I entirely agree with it, but here it is. What do sad people have in common? It seems they have all built a shrine to the past, and often go there and do a strange wail and worship. What is the beginning of happiness? It is to stop being so religious like that. That one's complicated for me because I think the past is actually very beautiful, including the trauma that we sometimes endure, and that our social groups endure, and that we identify with, and that is the concept that I call narrative trauma. So I would have been interested to talk to Hafez about that one, and kind of debate that a little bit. But I understand what it's getting at. Moving on. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. And then I think my favorite one, and the one I put as an introduction to my upcoming book. Your soul sometimes plays a note against the sky's ear that excites the birds and planets. Stay close to any sounds that make you glad you are alive. And I hope you read whatever post this is attached to, because the capitalization is meaningful. Some of it is poetic, but for example, in the one that, let's see, the one with the rose, where it says it felt the encouragement of light against its being. Being is capitalized, and it's not the beginning of a phrase. And so, that's a pure statement of ontology, I would say. Hafez is connecting the individual being of the rose or of you to the ground of all existence, and that is a mystical impulse, is to see everyone is connected and everyone is outgrowth of the same being, and that's ultimately what mystics and metaphysical philosophers see in common, I think. So the poetry of Hafez, the mystic lyrical poetry of Hafez, Persia's most influential poet to this day. So hope you enjoyed that. My name is Aaron, of aaronjmarks.com. I'm a visionary purpose coach and metaphysical leadership mentor, and I've been sharing some verses of Hafez with you today. And I'll see you the next time.